So in this quick video I want to show you how to add a few decals. So to add a traditional decal, you have to make sure that your PhotoView 360 is installed. Now if it's installed correctly, you should see render tools here. If it's not, you'll need to go to tools, down as far as add-ins, and make sure the little box is ticked beside PhotoView 360. So then if you hit edit decal, that will allow you to select browse to browse for the image. Now I've saved an image on the desktop. Now that the image has loaded in here, you can click a surface and the image should come in on it. Now to manipulate that image, you can click and drag anywhere within the frame. It will move it. Notice that it will not move it beyond its own face. It will not wrap around the corner yet. If you want to rotate it, click and drag it by this yellow sphere in the center. The feedback beside the mouse cursor will tell you the angle. And if you want to resize it, just click and drag those handles. So if I just leave that there at the angle, press OK, it comes in like that. Now, the problem with that is if I go and apply a material appearance such as high gloss red plastic, the label doesn't really look the part. The blue, or in some cases the white background, doesn't really look that good. So if I go to an unlikely photo editing program, in this case PowerPoint, I'm going to bring in the image. It's on my desktop, and you can see here it has a blue background. Now to clip out the blue background, double click the image, go up to color, and then select or set transparent color. Now whichever color I click will be removed. So in this case I want to click the blue, and it's removed from the image. Now just to prove that it's removed from the image, if I select the image and drag it outside the screen, you can see on the background that, in fact, if I right click format background, change the color to grey, now you can see that the background has been clipped out. So to save this image, you right click the image, save as picture. Now I'm going to save this as JPEG and save it, but I'm also going to right click, save as picture, and save it as a PNG and call that a PNG file. Now the subtle difference is when I bring in the JPEG and click it there, it will bring in the white background. Even though I clipped out the background, it still brings it in as being white. However, if I edit decal and bring in the PNG file, it does something funny. It brings it in differently. It's now got a black background. The PNG file is the only file that's able to remember and hold the transparent background, but by default it comes into SolidWorks with a black background rather than a clear background. If you render this, it will look the part, it will be clear. But if you want it to be clear in SolidWorks, you just need to go down here to the left and tick this box. Use decal image alpha channel, and it just makes it invisible. So now that's how you work through the various decals that way. So just to answer another question you had, if you open up a new PowerPoint slide and not working, so we'll just go insert and we will new slide, and if you add a simple text box, so for example if we're doing a torch this year, we could say Des's torch, and you can just make that a bit bigger so we can see it, and let's put some different font on it. Let's say this font kind of roughly resembles handwriting. We can put it in italics, we can put it bold. When you're happy with it, you'll notice that a text box also doesn't have any background, it's clear. So you can take this text box and save it as an image as well. So right click the text box, save as picture, make sure it's a PNG, and call it text, say. So that image has been saved to my desktop. Now I can edit the decal, browse for the text, and click, say in this case, the curved surface, and the image will come in as normal. If I go use Decal image alpha channel, now I can see Des's torch. Now I brought this in on the curved surface just to show you how to work with curved surfaces. As I drag that around, you can see how it distorts as it comes around the corner. Now in my case, that's going to be fine for me, but to edit things like that, you change the mapping of the decal, and how you do that is go over to mapping, and you can change things like projection, spherical and cylindrical. For instance, this time I have a cylindrical surface, so I can change this to cylindrical, and it'll change how it maps onto it. So it will actually rotate around it and it won't distort as it goes around. Or the same with spherical, but generally if it looks right, you don't really have to go changing anything. Now there is another setting here, the selected reference. You can change which direction the decal is going to be projected from. But again, I tend not to change those too often. So whenever you're happy with your decal like that, just approve it, and then it doesn't even look like a decal, it looks like the bit of text you're after. And when you render that, I'm not going to finally render it, I'm just going to do the preview window just to prove that it does pop out pretty clearly from the background.